Want to go across to Gaurav on this. Gaurav, what are you making of this? I mean, this is diplomatic gold. You know, one never gets to see this kind of conversation. Xi Jinping sort of being himself here. What did you think of this?
Shiv, you're absolutely right. Relationship between Canada and China already very grim, already frosty. Right from the Huawei executives, after the Huawei executive was arrested, detained, held, the relationship has been cold. But yesterday, Canada was extremely miffed with the manner in which China was interfering in internal affairs in Canada, the way that China had its police personnel or intelligence personnel on ground, keeping an eye on dissenters and pro-democracy workers. The fact that they're increasing their footprint in Canada. Justin Trudeau wasn't happy about it. There was a conversation, but apparently, according to this conversation, that discussion between China and Canada was meant to be kept confidential. But it's there in papers today. It's there in papers world over. And Xi Jinping is extremely miffed about it, looking at these images and the conversation. So there is a translator, and Xi Jinping is actually, through the translator, telling Justin Trudeau that the discussion was meant to be between us. It wasn't meant to be leaked to the press. It wasn't meant to be discussed in the press. That's not how diplomacy happens, or words to that effect. And this shows that this wolf warrior diplomacy that we've been seeing from China, it doesn't just come from the diplomats. Perhaps the orders come right from the top.
So are you saying, Gaurav, that, Xi would have said this by design so that the cameras could have captured them because he's sending out a message as well?
Shiv, that's a very interesting proposition, and perhaps that is the truth, because China's wolf warrior diplomacy, the fact that China, it's like slaughtering the chicken and scaring the monkeys. You dress down Justin Trudeau and then you hope that it will carry weight across democracies across the world. Is that what Xi Jinping intends to do or did in these images? It's a very interesting take on what's happening, but Perhaps it remains to be seen whether the impact will be just the opposite and democracies will come together to stand up against an expansionist China. That still remains to be seen, Shiv.
Very, very interesting. Perhaps as far as Xi Jinping is concerned, the most interesting video, the most masala video, if I can call it that, coming out of the G20. And let's face it, the G20 Summit has been chock-a-block with viral images that our Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan has been also bringing us. Geeta, what did you think of this fascinating exchange between Xi Jinping and Justin Trudeau?
Well, well timed. Also, the fact that the cameras were there. Xi Jinping always quite aware of the cameras, even in international platforms where he knows that things are not under his control. He went ahead and raised the objection of the leaked information to papers with regards to their talks. That certainly says something. But Justin Trudeau responded saying that in Canada we have frank, open discussions, and we hope to have constructive discussions in future as well. Even if we disagree on a few things, which means the way we carry out our news, the way we relay news to our press. It is different in Canada and different in China. But Shiv, if you look at how Xi Jinping has reacted in front of camera, in front of official camera, it has been quite astounding. Look at the visuals of Xi Jinping with President Biden. He almost made a face scowled while the photo op was taking place. Look at his visuals when he knew that the cameras were at play and he met Prime Minister Modi. It was a very cordial one with a lot of smile. Over here, a rather condescending look for Justin Trudeau. So he knows his play and he really doesn't care. While we say that the world and democracies should come together to take on China, at this juncture it just seems like China came here, did what it wanted to, said what it wants to, and has gone back. And Justin Trudeau certainly got a dressing down, but Justin Trudeau also responded to the Chinese president, saying that we in Canada behave differently with our press. It might be different in your country.